religion and the news.
Good morning, everybody. 40 people massacred in the Congo, 21 of whom were Christians. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to end the show on some more encouraging news about the way young people, especially young men, are turning their lives to Christ, and they're getting away from the beer and the smoking and all that other stuff. That's the good news here. But the awful news in the Congo. I'm with my co-host, Alfredo Romero, the pastor at Rock of Life Fellowship, and Bishop Peter Hansen of St. Augustine Anglican Church in downtown Chico. Good morning, men.
Good morning.
I don't know why are the Christians always the ones that are the victims of these things? What's going on? Is there any way to explain this kind of hatred?
Well, we would hope we're the victims. You know, everybody wants to point at the Crusades and say, here's your fault. You know, well, that was 700 years ago. Excuse me. Yeah, that was a bad thing. It was a bad thing. We're not defending it at all. But the Islamists who are behind these slaughters, it seems, defend every one of those things. They want to make it a righteous act that they invaded Israel on October 7th and slaughtered men, women, and little babies.
Yeah.
And tell us that they are righteous for that because Israel is so oppressive.
Is there anything that the United States can do? Can we just get some helicopters, some planes, go down there and move these people away from that place and let them live in the hellhole that they've created amongst themselves and just move the Christians out of there? I mean, is that something that maybe is that just too simple of a solution? Maybe I'm just too simple-minded.
Do you want to be moved out of your home because somebody else hates you?
If my life depended on it, my kids' lives depended on it, I might.
I think the biggest problem is nobody's talked about it before. It's been going on for years. I've got so many articles.
Oh, yes.
In February of this year, 70 Christians were beheaded in church in the Dominican Republic of the Congo because they're trying to be cleansed out of their homes by Islamic radicals. It's all about Islam. And I mean, I could go through here, 40 Christian worshipers killed in the Congo, 30 worshipers killed in the Congo, 21 killed in the Congo, 15 rebels accused of killing 50 Christians. It's been going on for years, and nobody's said anything about it until hopefully now.
We can't apply our American need for safety to the psychology of these Christians there. Mm-hmm. These are like first century Christians who, if they're slaughtered, they sing hymns and die. And they deserve red letter days, you know. They deserve recognition. I think as Alfredo was saying, we don't talk about this. The other day, there was a news conference in the White House and in the Oval Office where a Congolese female reporter, came up and wanted to thank Mr. Trump for being the first president in generations to take seriously the conflict they have, and establishing a truce and a peace and a deal that's going to finish that. The Congolese and African leaders all looked at this as very favorable because no American presidents up to him would even call them back.
Yeah.
You know, that part of the world,
I saw that.
There's a lot of violence. It doesn't necessarily have to be Islam. The Rwandan massacre that happened like a generation ago destroyed families, cut down through the middle of. It was tribal warfare. The Tutsis and somebody, I don't know the names, but they just went to war with each other, and it was exacerbated by voices of disorder and hate. Now, why should we care? Well, dang, I know a Rwandanese family. They're in Arizona. He's a good priest. I ordained him. He's a lovely guy, and his wife had her family killed during that thing.
During this most recent one?
No.
Oh, but another one.
No, this is like a generation ago.
This is not unlike that movie poster right there, The Mission, where people make a decision. Do you want to fight, or do you just willingly allow yourself to be a martyr?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about the film is you say, which one would I be? Would I be the Jeremy Irons character, or would I be the Robert De Niro character who would fight? And it sounds like in this situation that we're dealing with in the Congo, they seem to be the Jeremy Irons character, the priest.
Sounds a little like it.
Yeah, well, just accept the fate
Yeah.
and find yourself in the loving arms of Jesus. That is faith,
It's hard for us here. We don't like that set of choices.
right?
Yeah.
There's a Bible verse, Matthew 5:10, that says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." There is, if you are martyred and you are killed and you've refused to deny your faith in Christ, there is definitely a special place for you. There's a special respect that you get in heaven just because of the fact that you died denying your faith, like the apostles did.
We really are spoiled here in the United States, aren't we?
We are. We don't want somebody to look crosswise at us, and in some other part of the world that might mean that I'll be attacked tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, we think because, maybe we don't get a job advancement because of our religion, that somehow, boy, we really sacrificed a lot in the name of Christ, and that's really not the case.
Oh yeah, I walked around with my hat that had the cross on it, and I've had people walk by me and give me dirty looks, just like, oh, Jesus, guy. What? I walked into this house. I was looking at a house. I was thinking about moving into a few years after the fire. We're looking for a place to live, and this lady had this beautiful office, and there was this glowing light down on this huge book, and it just looked so glorious. And I said, "Oh, you've got like one of the old Bibles or something." "Oh, Bible? That's a dictionary."
Well,
I'm not one of those Bible thumpers. I went, "Okay."
Well, here's something to ask ourselves and ask yourself. I wear a cross, and you have the hat with the cross on it.
And my shirt.
Would you go to the Congo with that hat? Would you walk into the Congo wearing that hat? And would I go into that Congo with an open shirt, allowing my cross to be seen? Would you do it?
If God asked us to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
That's easier said than done.
I know. But I might not have said yes years ago, but now I say yes.
Some of the most faithful Christians in the world are in Africa. Nigeria, just the country of Nigeria alone, has more Anglican worshipers on a Sunday morning than the entire Anglican churches of England, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all the English-speaking Commonwealth countries. The Anglicans there don't outnumber the Nigerians who come just to that denomination. They're the largest black church in the world, is the Anglicans in Africa. So, no, I wouldn't be afraid of going in there.
Yeah. One quick Bible verse, though. Psalm 27:1, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" You got to have the faith that God's going to take care of me. It's like what Paul said, "Hey, if you kill me, I get to go home to be with the Lord. If you don't kill me, I'm going to go tell people about the Lord." It's a win-win situation.
I mean, look, we're all going to die anyway. Face it now or face it later, and doing it to witness to Christ, I guess, would be the best way to do it. But still, I still think that I don't think any of us know exactly what we would do if we were put in that situation.
Well, not to beat my chest, I mean, truly, when we were given the gift of going to Israel at our 50th wedding anniversary, we were very happy and we were setting it up, and then October 7th happened.
Right.
And it was dangerous to go. But it's further dangerous because Giti is on international television, broadcasting over that whole area, Christianity. And that would be very dangerous for her. I wouldn't put her in that situation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to England instead.
Amen. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't walk in there just unless I knew I was called.
Right.
I don't want to take chances.
It's an assignment.
Yeah, it's got to be an assignment, not just, "Oh, watch me, why do I want to wear this hat?"
Is it important for these stories to be told to your congregations?
I do. About every 3-4 months, I basically play your job, newscaster, and I will read stories like this for the entire sermon. The ones that are challenging and you can rejoice through, and the ones that are just, the good news stories. But I mix them up, so that's about every 3-4 months.
Is it a good thing to not praise these martyrs, but to certainly to more than recognize them, but not go so far as to praise them. There's a word somewhere in between. Acknowledge,
Surely.
appreciate.
Surely.
Truly respect.
Yeah.
They're that's what true servants of God, they are. They have our
Honor.
respect, admiration, and honor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honor them. I mean, honor them in their deaths. Maybe not revere them.
Right.
You Protestants.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to make a statue out of it or anything.
Okay.
We have about less than about a minute and a half in this segment. We're going to go on to something more cheerful, but just to conclude this topic, I think maybe about a year, 2 years ago on this show, we were saying every guest that would come on this show, other pastors who come on this show, and other pastors who are no longer on this show, would say, "This is coming to the United States. What's happening in the Congo will come to the United States, and it's on its way." I'm not so sure that's the case anymore, at least not for now. Your thoughts?
Well, maybe that's why we're having a mass exportation of illegal aliens, because who knows who's here at this point?
Yeah.
Who knows who's here? There is violence here.
Yeah, look what happened in New York just the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you that we talked about this on the other show, I think, this week, but there seems to be some type of revival going on in California when 6,500 people give their lives to the Lord just a few days ago in Southern California at Angel Stadium.
Wow. Yeah, right.
That's that, and it was mostly young people. So there's definitely some type of shift going on
Something's
with the
happening.
young people. Yeah.
God's up to something.
Which is a great segue for the next segment.
That's
It's
right.
a perfect segue because I go right into the tease and say things are changing with young people. We're not seeing the binge drinking. We're not seeing them smoking, at least not as much as they used to. They still smoke some stuff they're not supposed to, but it's not like it once was. Things seem to be changing with young people, particularly young men.
There's hope.
We're gonna talk about that when we come back.
Hey, welcome back to Rebel Religion in the News. We take the news of the day and we tell you where God and what He is doing. Listen, we've been talking about this a lot. There seems to be, and there is, not seems, but there is a movement of young people of this generation, Generation Z, Y, X. What is it now? But there's a movement of the Gen Z that are moving towards faith, and especially amongst young men. And one of the ways that you can see the examples of this is Bible sales are off the charts, higher than they've ever been among young people. And there's an article here in Crosswalk, and it basically says why Christians are embracing the sober, curious movement, where a lot of young people are looking, and older people are looking at their lives and saying, do I really need alcohol in my life? And this is a great movement, and mainly because God says, do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Holy Spirit. And this is just another sign that there's something going on among the young people.
You know what I've noticed too? I don't see smokers anymore. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw somebody smoking a cigarette in public. And to me, I mean, this is a good thing. People, I think when you see somebody smoking a cigarette, you kind of think less of them, don't you? You might think, I do. I just don't. I mean, I don't judge them. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people are allowed to do what they want to do, but I think there's sort of like
It's a dirty habit.
it's a dirty habit.
It's a bad habit,
It
yeah.
smells.
Yeah.
It smells. I don't want to be downwind of it anymore.
Right.
I used to smoke a long time ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that was normal back
Yeah.
then. It was. I mean, people were smoking all the time. You just
Right.
have, and I know that we're talking about alcohol consumption with young people, but the idea too that we just don't see people lighting up anymore is just
Yeah.
another encouraging sign that people seem to be. Maybe it has to do with health. Maybe people realize, hey, we want to live longer. We want to take care. Maybe it has nothing to do with moral values. Maybe it just has to do with their own personal well-being. But either way, it's certainly an encouraging sign.
Well, I think part of it is I've seen some articles that suggest that one of the reasons why the last two generations are more health conscious is because they were more earth conscious. Take care of the earth and take care of the water and take care of the sky and the seas and take care of everything. So it moved into, well, I need to take care of myself too. So they thought that they could get away from cigarette smoking, and so they thought vaping was safer. So they went to vaping. Now, vaping is coming out as being bad for you too.
Of course it is.
And of course it is. You're inhaling carcinogenics. And so the other part about it is the drinking part of it. You know what really freaks me out? Is I look at these old movies, let's say from 30 years ago, and they're smoking on the plane. They're sitting there. There's a restaurant scene. Everybody's lighting up and smoking. They've got ravioli, take a drag. Ravioli, a drink, take a drag. I'm like, wait a minute. That seems so foreign now.
Yeah,
so when you see somebody smoking, you're going, yeah.
Having said that, I have to admit, when I watch old movies or I see old talk shows and I see Dean Martin drinking a martini and smoking a
Smoking on the
cigarette,
set, yeah.
he's the coolest cat on the planet. I mean, it doesn't matter whether or not he's smoking or drinking or whatever he's doing. There's something about Dean Martin that just says that guy's cool.
Yeah, there's the Johnny Carson show, and then there's like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Don Rickles, and everybody's lighting up and drinking. And hey, so how was that show last week? It was wonderful.
And it used to be cool, but you don't see that kind of stuff happening now. It's called the sober curious movement.
Yeah.
It refers to a growing trend of people choosing to take a break from alcohol or walk away from it entirely. And so are young people getting smart? Is that what's happening?
I don't know what is happening, except the effect of it is that there are a lot of young men walking into churches, forming little talk groups, examining our traditional faith, looking at the creeds, looking at church history, looking at serious stuff, not just tapping their feet to the beat of the cool music, but like really engaged with God, and very meaningfully. So it's a wonderful, and I inexplicable new trend.
It seems I think it's one. I've always thought that theology is interesting just because of the history of it, and if people are engaging in that, that's nothing but a good thing to have happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you look at the article on Crosswalk, it says that that this movement is often rooted in a desire for mental clarity, emotional wellness, and spiritual depth. And it says Christian women are finding that these questions go hand in hand with their walk with God, and now the young men are catching up and surpassing women as far as running into the churches, looking for hope, looking for mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and along with that comes physical health as well.
Well, if that's the case, what is the responsibility of churches when these young people are coming into church and asking questions? What's the strategy? I don't mean it to sound like you're trying to trick people into believing in Jesus, but what's the strategy to get them to really participate in the church and we talked about it this week. There's a hard sell and the soft sell. The soft sell kind of works, but sometimes you need the hard sell with some people. Well, hard sell would be eternal damnation. But what's the strategy?
Well, if the soft sell means putting all the cookies on the bottom shelf and making everything entertaining and enjoyable, and we're talking down to these people.
Yeah.
We're considering them to be very shallow. And they want the tricks, and I don't think that's where we're going to engage these people. They're seriously seeking some answers and looking for a way in their life, and I think you go deep with them.
Yeah.
And take the time, and don't be put off if they wear weird clothes, but they're generally very conservatively dressed too. They're surprising me. I mean, delighted to see that despite our worst efforts to alienate the world, people are coming for Christ in our churches.
Now, St. Augustine is a more traditional church with the liturgical church. Do you see young people coming into your church as well?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, it's starting.
Huh.
It's beginning. Last school year, we saw several college kids. Now, college kids just did never darken our door. It's Sunday morning is sleep time. But now we're starting to see young people and seriously worshiping. They're not just sitting there on their cell phones goofing off, but they want to do it.
Yeah, you're about a quarter of a mile away from the campus over at Chico State.
One block.
Great opportunity. We've noticed definitely an influx of young people coming into the church. Matter of fact, we've had to adapt to it because I've got feedback that Sunday morning is sleep time. So some of the feedback that we received was, we don't go because we, go out Saturday night, we're too tired. So starting and this, I'm not trying to promote this really, but and starting in September and October, we're going to have a 5 o'clock Sunday evening service, just 1 hour from 5 to 6, for those people that cannot make it to church on Sunday morning, because some work. So honestly, they'll work, but a lot of the students can't go on Sunday mornings; they're tired. But by Sunday evening, 5 o'clock, if it's 5 to 6, they may go to church. So that starts at Rock of Life the first Sunday in September, and we're going to run it through October, see how it goes, and we just may continue it.
Yeah, we're looking at putting together a Wednesday evening worship service going right into men's and women's groups, and hopefully for the young people to engage with us and be able to seriously take their issues on and hear about them and talk through them.
We have about 3 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left in the show. What's the reason? I mean, I hear people saying that young people want more in life. They want more meaning to their life, but there obviously is something of this world that's not satisfying to them.
Yeah, they're smart. They're smarter than we are, I think.
The younger people are smarter than when we were young.
Here's the feedback I get. They're tired. The young people, whatever the percentages, are tired of being, like you said, the soft sell and the fluff. Oh, you're special. Oh, here's a safe room. Here's a stuffy toy for comfort. They're tired of that.
Stuffy toy.
Yeah, they want something real. They're looking for a hope that this world is not offering. Oh, the world's going to end in 7 or 9 years. It's climate change. It's the wars, and they're looking for something real, because they're realizing that this world is temporary, and they're looking for something eternal, something with meaning, because they've been fed fluff. So now they're coming into church. Thank God.
What's the pivot? We have 1.5 minutes. What's the pivot when they come in there, and what do you have to say? What do you have to convey to get them to say, yeah, I'm coming back?
We love you.
Ooh.
Yeah. We see you. We love you. We
care.
see you.
We care.
And yes, we care where you are right now. And I tell them that where you are right now, I'm going to tell you something. When you start reading the Word of God and develop that relationship with Jesus, things that you think are important right now, as you develop your relationship with Christ, they're not going to be so important anymore. And the things that you think weren't important right now, they will start to become important to you. And they grab onto that.
Yeah. They will somehow be our teachers, because we're going to learn what God is speaking to a new generation. And it's not a change of the religion. It's our theology stays forever. The creed doesn't alter. But what's concerning them? I mean, imagine growing up in the middle of the woke revolution, where nothing you ever considered before is suddenly real.
Yeah.
And they've thrown that off. They were really talked down to by people who were stupidly posing these alternatives.
Great point.
What a good discussion. Pastor Alfredo Romero, Rock of Life Fellowship, and Bishop Peter Hansen of St. Augustine Anglican Church. 10 o'clock on Sundays, their services. They are going to be having services soon, I believe, on Wednesday night as well.
Wednesday night for me, and
Sunday night, 5 o'clock, starting in September and October.
All right. Thank you so much for the discussion. We'll talk to you next time here on Rebel Religion in the News. Take good care and so long.
God bless.
Bye-bye.